I think we're ready to go. New game. 3, 2, 1, and let's go. So Snake Pass, if you haven't seen it before or heard of it or anything, you play a snake named Noodle. Here's your opening cutscene where you see there's 3 pillars there, a green, a yellow, and a pink one. And the pink one went down, and that's because something called a keystone has been stolen from it. There are 3 keystones in each level, well, 1 in the first, 3 in all the other ones. And those power the portal, which lets you actually leave. They call it a gate here. So the goal of the game is get those keystones back and restore each level. There are also some extra items in the game that you can collect. There are 20 wisps or water bubbles, and there are 5 guardian coins. And so we'll be collecting all of those and the keystones in each level. So I've already gotten 1 guardian coin, that's the second one. And that's the third already. First level is really short, it's just kind of introducing you to the movement mechanics. Right there he says slither, or pick up speed by going left and right. If you try to just go straight, you will not move like at all. So you need to go left and right in order to actually build any momentum at all. We have our first little cutscene where we find out, yes, here's the gate, it's broken. We need to restore it, and to restore it, all we have to do is just find the keystone, which is really hidden. It's like right over here. We're gonna snag this keystone up here. Alright. So now Doodle circles around it and you get possession of it, and then here we puts it back, and the gate is opened up again. It takes a little bit for the gate to actually open. It's got a little bit of a cutscene as it does so. And so there'll be a couple items that we can get after we trigger that that cutscene animation. I did level 1 in under 3 minutes. That's the fastest I've done level 1 by far.
Do you just get faster slithering or something?
I guess, I didn't have any mistakes.
That seems to be the only thing I could ever have thought of.
Yeah, the second coin sometimes is a little dicey, but...
There. But it's only, what, a second or 2?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so here's level 2. This is the first level where you have all 3 keystones that you need to get. And it's going to be like that for the rest of the game. So to move, I play on the Switch version. You hit RZ or ZR to like actually move forward, and you have to use the left joystick to angle yourself. You can hit A to raise your body up. And then in later levels, we'll also be hitting X to dive down underwater. You can also hit Y to have Doodle pick up the bottom half of you. He can't just carry you, so it's really a, oh crap, I'm slipping off, let me do this and save myself mechanic. You see there was a cutscene at that first keystone, so we try to snag it right as that cutscene triggers so that we can kind of fall down and save a little bit of time collecting it while that cutscene happens. I'm gonna go up here, and there is a coin up here. This is kind of your first introduction into climbing semi-difficult bamboo. I'm gonna snag that. There's a cutscene right here if you get too close to this bamboo, so we're gonna just kind of nudge that and go away. This level has, I think, 5 cutscenes, and it's all to kind of teach you basic mechanics of the game. And so we skip all but one of them, because that first one, the trigger is all around that green keystone, and we can't collect it without triggering it. But the others that we're going to skip, so we've skipped 2 actually so far. There's one that plays if you get too close to the portal without having a keystone yet. Then Doodle jumps in and is like, oh no, all 3 of them are missing. But if you have collected one before you get there, I guess the game has a flag that's like, oh, you figured out that you need to collect all of them, so we don't need to do this cutscene. If you get too close to this bamboo, that's another cutscene. There's another movement mechanic called gripping, and you use ZL for that. We don't use gripping very often. It's actually not really that good for basic movement purposes, because I'm not really entirely sure myself how it works, but it's like it's like his entire body tries to cling to something. So if you've got some of your body curled around something, and you got the other half like against a wall and you use grip, you'll just kind of grip everything, and you're not really sure whether you're going to slide on the wall or you're going to grip the bamboo. It's kind of weird. We skipped another cutscene there. That's another one if you get too close to the bamboo, then it'll trigger that cutscene. Another thing telling you, remember you can use grip to slither up these. So that was level 2. Pretty solid level. Level 3 begins with my favorite cutscene in the game. Because we come to this level and there's such happy music, and Doodle is just fluttering around all happy, and Noodle sitting there smiling and everything. Like, see how happy they are? Sun is shining, check. Oh yeah. Wind blowing? Of course, check. Birds sing? Oh, shadows, and then minor key music. Oh, and there's something just ruined our portal. How dare it? And I love his little Noodle's expression there. He's just like, ooh. Alright, so that was the last cutscene to start a level. Every other level just kind of loads and you just begin. So now you have the whole plot for the game. Something is destroying the portals, and you have to find the keystones and restore them all. We have a coin up here we're going to snag. And then we're going to try and jump to the green keystone in front of me, but sometimes this jump can be a little finicky. Okay, we got that. Cool. Another coin right there. And we got 4 quick water bubbles. And I recently actually made a route change to this level. Because there's the last coin normally is kind of a pain to get, because you have to push yourself against a vertical wall and just kind of hope that you get up it and wiggle back and forth and stuff. It's kind of inconsistent on how long it takes to get it, and so we're gonna skip that and just jump to it later. But to do that, we need to collect these water bubbles so we don't have to come down here again. Okay, and now we have this sign telling us don't go this way, there's death. And it's basically right. This coin is kind of a pain. Like I said, I just killed myself. See if we can save it though. You can kind of go around this sign and live. Okay, so let's try that again. Sometimes it's just faster to die, but I think that one, I don't think I hit a checkpoint. Or else so that one would have been going back to the beginning of the level. Alright, let's try this again. Alright, that's a little better. The first time I kind of ran into my body, which stopped on my momentum trying to get back up. Now we're going to go over here. And that was kind of unfortunate. Lost a good chunk of time there, but it wasn't a death. So that water bubble, you have to slow down a little bit, or you'll just go right over it. Here's our next keystone, and then we got water bubble and coin back here. Wrap around once to grab this one against the wall. Then the camera zooms in like super close. You can see like the individual scales on his head. And that's a thing with the camera in this game. It can't go through any objects, and so if it is ever in a tight quarter like that, it just kind of zooms in super close because it doesn't know where to go. And we get 2 water bubbles, and this level is done. So, unfortunate that we fell earlier and had to backtrack a little bit, but other than that, not a bad level 3. Did you plug my computer in? I didn't realize it wasn't in the socket.
No, it's my bad from yesterday.
Okay, so now at the end of this level, you see this big thing flying over. That's the shadow we saw earlier. So what is it? I don't know yet. Okay, 3 levels down. There are 15 in total. And so there are 4 worlds. This is, or realms, I guess. This is Boulder's realm, so boulder, so earth, rocks, that kind of stuff. And whenever you finish each realm, there's a cutscene where the guardian of that realm, in this case Boulder, no relation to the Pokemon, to my knowledge, he will come out and say, you've saved us, thank you very much, and then he'll give you their prized possession. And wait till you see it, it's pretty cool. That was a joke. Anyone knows? Alright. That's, to me, like the first really difficult coin. Well, maybe level 1 has a difficult one underneath the bridge, but that was the first coin that I found that was just kind of dangling over nothing, and you just had to kind of go for it and then make it back to safety, and it was not easy. I died so many times there. One thing to note is that was a checkpoint I just hit, but now you see that green keystone just popped up on the screen like that. Whenever you get a keystone, you don't have possession of it in your inventory until Doodle does his little circular animation around it, and then it appears on that screen. So if I die right now, even though I hit that checkpoint after I collected the green keystone, I'll have to collect it again because I didn't technically have possession of it yet. So we're going to snag these. And then we're going to jump down here. And this part can be a little finicky. So you do have control over the camera with the right analog stick, but sometimes the camera tries to be smart and go where it thinks you want to go. And so if you start like wrapping around things, and the camera might all of a sudden just rotate on you for basically no reason, just be like, oh, you want to go over here, right? And you're like, no, I don't want you, just messed me up. Yeah, we're gonna snag this. You'll see me sometimes when I've got like half my body onto a ledge, I'll call Doodle, because it is a little faster for him to pick you up, just that last little bit to kind of help you. And this is our first instance of what are walls? What even? There are certain parts where if the wall is slightly sloped, like so it's not completely vertical, you can kind of just go up it. And I really don't know why, but you'll see that right here as well. We're going to snag this thing down here, and then we're just kind of going to go up here and use Doodle to help us. We want to ideally jump up to the top platform there so we don't have to climb back up to it. Doodle can only do like one thing at a time, so if he's holding on to you and you collect a keystone, he'll just let go of you to get the keystone. The keystone's way more important than you are. And because of that, if he has collected a keystone and you try to call him, he's like, no, screw you. I want to get this first, and you can die if you're dying. I don't care. And so this is our first cutscene. So we'll have the Guardian here, Boldor. He's going to pop up out of this gate. Or at least some kind of hologram thing of him. Oh, here's that treasure. Look at it. Isn't it pretty? It's like, I don't know, a soda cracker. Yeah, and Doodle holds onto it. He tucked it under his wing or something. I don't really know. Yeah. Hey, I forgot I died on that level last time. I was like, I'm 2 minutes ahead. Sweet. Alright, so here's level, or Realm 5, or Realm 2, World 5. It's Sog-E's realm, so water. And this is where we're introduced to that other button I mentioned at the beginning of the game, where we can dive down. First we're going to snag this coin and hopefully not die. That one's kind of weird with, it's like it's got an angled stone, and it's hard to squeeze yourself back in there, so you can't just slide off that and die. Yeah, so we can hold X to dive down. I'll snag this thing first, though. Another thing about water is Doodle grabs the back half, not right at the tail, but basically the tail, and if that part is submerged in water, Doodle's like, I'm a hummingbird, I can't go in there. So you can't call him. He'll make a little like sound when you try to call him. Just let you know, I can't pick you up there. Alright. Just hug that wall. Like that. And this is our first switch in the game. You kind of just got to get enough of your body on it to weigh it down. You're also much faster in the water than you are on land, which I guess makes sense being a snake. But that property can be a little interesting later. Like if you're half in water and half not in water, then it kind of adds a little effect like you're really slippery. You can just slip off things that you don't think you should slip off. See it a little bit later, probably not in this level though. There is a way to get that coin by being on this stone up here and just kind of letting your tail dangle all the way down, but it's really finicky on getting the exact distance for it to work. And this is our first rolling switch. There are a few of these in the game. Yep, first boop. And so you see that raises up this lattice work of bamboo. I think that's the only one we do in this run. The others we can skip. This is another test for a coin, but the makers of the game were nice enough to put that little hole there so that your tail just kind of falls down there and snags it. Whenever you're getting items, any part of your body can touch it and you'll collect it. So sometimes it's advantageous to just kind of go over something and let your tail hit it, or if possible. Switch without having to circle around. If you do it on the first try, then it's faster. So the only reason we have to raise that is because there's a water bubble underneath that you can't get without raising it. Otherwise, there is a way to get around that without raising that switch. That, and then just kind of go up here. And I don't really know why it works, just kind of go up here. It seems like you're too vertical and you should slide off, but it works. That was the last water bubble. This is the second to last keystone. There was a green one that we still are lacking. And there's one more coin, which is hanging out down here. Now, they were so nice. You can just kind of get over this and your tail falls through and gets it. And that's level 5. Just kind of gotta wait on this cutscene and make sure enough of our bodies in the portal to actually activate it. There's also, you can also change Doodle's expression by the directional buttons. He's got some pretty funny expressions. He'll just open his mouth up like really wide, and he'll be like, you know, stuff like that. Level 6 has it has a trick in it that I hate. I've done a lot of work to try and make it consistent, but I'll explain it more when we get there. But I mentioned earlier there's a button you can use to grip, and I haven't used it yet in this run, but we'll use it in this level at some point. By using a combination of gripping and calling Doodle, you can kind of go up a vertical pole, and the way it works is when you grip and Doodle's holding you, you can then kind of use that as a new anchor point, and then continue to go up a little higher. And so we're going to climb a vertical pole like that later to get to a coin, and skip a rolling boulder puzzle. And we're going to hopefully get this water bubble down here as we fall. One right there. Okay, good. Camera goes through a little tight space there, so sometimes it can freak out. You get to see Noodle's expression when he gets a coin. He's super happy. This Realm 2 also has the best music in the game. It's great. It gets quieter when you get in water, but I promise you it's wonderful. Here's the first case of being half in water and half on something else. You can notice maybe a little bit that the middle part of my body just kind of swung way out of there when I was trying to grip around. We're gonna get this one. See that boulder over there to our left? Yeah, we don't want to deal with that. That looks like a lot of work. So instead, we're gonna go here and do that trick I was talking about. So we're gonna hopefully get it first try. I'm going to wrap around twice, call Doodle, go about that far, grip, and then try to go up the rest of the way. And it worked. Cool. Okay, we're not done yet, because we're on the wrong side of this thing. We need to go to the other side. So if we circle around that one, that gives us enough leverage to get over to this side. And once we hit this checkpoint, we are good. And we get... oh yeah, spikes will, as you can guess, kill you, like, immediately. and it's kind of a it's got a really satisfying sound when you do it too. It's just like, oh, I just killed him. Like you know you just killed him, and you feel bad. For a while, because of that one trick, this was my least favorite level. Not anymore. I think my least favorite level is 12 now, because it has a trick that should be really easy to do, and it was for a long time. Never had any problems with it, and then all of a sudden it just started becoming really inconsistent. A little too fast there. So here you gotta wait until you get enough of your body up so that it doesn't slide off. This snake does have the most powerful neck muscles in the world, but sometimes even those aren't strong enough to pull you out of something. And here's our first introduction into blocks that move like this. Those ones aren't bad right there, but there's some later that really suck, and they make your momentum act really weird. Like you're going up, but if you try to raise up, then it's almost, I guess, like an elevator effect, where if you've ever jumped in an elevator and been pulled down because it went up. It's kind of the same idea. Did you hear that? No, I didn't. I don't know what I'm talking about. Get this. Okay, last coin is hidden there, and we're done with level 6. Oh, I apparently never I never hit the timer on level 5. Whoops. Well, we'll just have 2. Man, that was a really good level 4. God, that was like 3 seconds. I'll have to go back and fix that later. To watch it and see what my time actually was. Alright, level 7. There's a green keystone at the beginning that you're supposed to go over this bridge and climb up to it, but you can kind of just go backwards and get on some things you probably aren't supposed to get on, and get it from the other side. And a common thing in this game that we'll implement as much as we can is it's way easier to fall onto things than it is to climb up and get things. So in this case, we're going to come up here to our green keystone, and then we're going to go backwards through this part and just kind of fall and collect things along the way, and it's a lot faster than having to wait on cycles and stuff to climb. Whoa. We'll get this. I'm going to wait on that to rotate again because it's at a bad time. And we're going to get that, wrap around, and then get this. And so we're going to snag this one just by going straight across it, and then we're going to get this one as we fall, and that saves us from having to wait on the bamboo to rotate around so we can get back up there. Go up this corner, we'll be right where we need to be at the next part. And this is also our first introduction into switches that you need to activate by wrapping around them and rotating them. For this one, you rotate clockwise, and there's a door right underneath me that's going to open up. You see the camera zooms out so you can kind of see it. We don't need to open it up all the way, just enough to get underneath it. We're going to go across here. There's a water bubble there, and then there's a coin. We're going to almost die, but we'll wait on this cycle to get this first bamboo. Okay, and then we activate this one. Over there. And by getting those two items right then, it saves us from having to go back to this area later, which allows us to do what seems like a pretty dangerous jump, but there's a pretty consistent way to pull it off at the very end of the level. And if that jump fails, you lose a good chunk of time, about a minute and a half, because the last checkpoint you have is nowhere near that. There are a couple cutscenes in the game that you can move during. This is one of them. So we're going to activate this. Then we're going to try and collect this water bubble and get in the water. Okay. You can't move during all cutscenes, though. It's unfortunate. Okay, we're going to get hung up there. This switch kind of sucks. You can't normally to get those switches, you would wrap around them once, use the grip button, and then just kind of pull. But you can't wrap yourself tightly around them underwater, and you can't use the grip button underwater. And so that one, you try to wrap around it, and you just kind of slide off of it, and it does nothing. So you have to. And that's the only underwater switch in the game. So you have to approach it from... You have to just basically ram your head into it and kind of just push it. Okay, so... Not the angle I wanted for that. But it's okay. That carried us around. When I was moving during that cutscene earlier, and I got that water bubble, it is possible just to miss it, and if you do, you can kind of get it right here when you're falling down. Which might be a little faster to just ignore the water bubble on the first go through and this isn't good. I just died. Took that a little too fast. And see, it brings you all the way back here. Something about switches. Whenever you hit a switch, even if you die, it's still active. So earlier I got this yellow keystone, and that lowered this block, which made this thing move. And so that was still active, even though I died. Let's do a little better this time. Take it a little slower. Okay. Now here's the jump I was talking about. And you saw the checkpoint I would have to go back to if I failed this. It was the same one where when I just died. We're gonna go across there, hope we don't slide off, and then we'll activate this. Hit the button this time to end that level. Alright, level 8. We're almost halfway through the game. This next part is definitely not the intended method for this. You can see there's a couple water bubbles, and you might be able to see a little opening in the wall there. That's supposed to be an exit point for the end of the level after you activate some switches and stuff. And there's a water bubble hidden in there that we can just grab like this. And now there's no reason for us to go back in that tunnel, which means we can ignore the puzzle later to open that up. We had some rotating bamboo in the previous level, but this is the first one where it's like actually dangerous, because if you fall off of it you'll just die. The other one was you can fall off of it, but you still have some ground underneath you to keep you alive. This one right here isn't bad at all. You just kind of go straight at it and just kind of angle a little to the right as you're going. The next one sucks. The next one is like awful. I hate it. I hope that you hate it too, so I'm not alone. But it's got two items that we need to collect, one above it and one below it. And neither of them are easy to get. Thankfully there's a checkpoint literally right there, so we can have a couple goes with this if we need to. We're going to wait till that one that's at the bottom is right there. Jump around. I got hung up on myself, but that's fine. And then we're going to get the other coin down there with our tail, hopefully. Okay. And then we're going to just go over here. Yeah, that's the smoothest that's ever gone. Okay, so we're going to go up here. And this water bubble right here is the first item I ever missed in the game when I was starting runs, and so I got to the end of this level and was like, wait, what'd I miss? And I couldn't for the life of me figure out what I missed, and I just went through the whole level again and played it, and I found that one. I was like, oh, I forgot that water bubble. And so I aptly named it the Jeff, don't forget this water bubble. There was a second one later. That was the other item I missed in the game. That's not until level 13 though. Make sure we're secure on this, because falling off here is terrible. We're going to wait until that's around, and then we're going to fall onto that. And we can get across. That was a case where I tried to call Doodle, but he was still collecting that pink keystone, because that's way more important than his best friend. Materialistic bird. here's another instance where we got to climb a vertical pole. That one's a lot easier than the other one because it's smaller, but it's still a little finicky sometimes. It's almost bad. Here's some not too fun raising or moving blocks. And you'll see in a little bit why they're not too fun. They just kind of kill all your momentum, and I don't really know why. But we're gonna slip through here. And normally when you're trying to go up little stairs, you can call Doodle, but when you call him, it's like doesn't work on these. I'd say that's the best that's gone. Okay. We have one more keystone over here. And normally when you get to this point, you're supposed to collect this, drop down, and then there's a boulder that's in the water, and there's a switch that you gotta guide the boulder to. And there's the switch right there, and could have seen just the tip of the boulder as I went over it. What I love about this game is there is no randomness in the game, except for where that boulder spawns. I don't know why that's the one random element in this entire game, but it is. And with this route, we just skip it. So this is a game that's pure execution, because everything is on a global timer. So you start a level, and if you are good enough, then you'll do the same stuff every time, or at least if you're consistent, you'll hit the same cycles every time. So here we have a Soggy, and he's going to give us their prized reward, or whatever they have. It looks just like the other one, just different color and different little symbol on it. We got our other soda cracker. And here we get a glimpse of a red eye. That's kind of creepy. But that's our, I guess if you call him a villain, it's our bad guy in this game. So now we get to Cinder's realm. Cinder, fire, coals. I call it lava, but it's basically hot coals. They act kind of like the spikes in the previous world, where it will kill you, but not instantly. There's some moments where Noodle's like, oh crap, I'm being cooked alive, and he like bounces around and then he'll die. So you have a little bit of time to kind of free yourself from it, whereas the spikes will just kill you outright. We won't see any, there won't be much hot coals in this level. It'll show up in the next couple. A lot more. There are 5 rotating switches in this level. What's nice about all those switches, you have to turn the correct way. What's nice about these is that they alternate. So the first one that you get to, you rotate counterclockwise, and all the other ones you'll do what you didn't do. So that first one was counterclockwise, that one's clockwise, the next one we get to will be counterclockwise again, and then clockwise, counterclockwise. So if you just remember what you did on the last one, then just do the opposite of that and you'll be good. I thought this climb was super unfair when I first got here, but it's actually not too bad. And we're just gonna launch across here so we don't have to worry about going back through that bamboo. there's a switch right in front of us, we can completely ignore it because all it does is you see that torch right in front of me? There, that's the little like platform that will lower so you can get across here, but you can just jump, so it's not needed. We're gonna hopefully get this one with our tail. Okay. Sometimes your tail can just miss that, and then you have to waste a little bit of time to go down and collect it with your head.
Wow. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Alright, these switches right here are annoying as hell. I don't really know what causes them to actually fire off. Like, I've literally gone up and like touched it for less than a second, and it's caused it to rotate. And I've sat there and rotated it for like 15 seconds, and it's like, nope, I don't want to work. My only guess is that there's a global timer that's going, and if it's being rotated when that timer hits a certain number, then it will trigger that you rotated it. Other than that, I got no ideas, and it's also like really difficult to actually get the thing to turn. You can see that I had to rotate that a lot before it finally decided to register. A lot of the fun in this game has been figuring out like the most consistent and fastest ways to get through different configurations of bamboo. That previous one, I used to die on that a lot. Just I was trying to do something too complicated and I'd run into something and slip off, and there were hot coals under there that I would just die. But I've gotten a better method to do it. Alright. World 9, or level 9, is the longest level in this realm. And I think it's because it's introducing you to a lot of different mechanics, especially the lava, and the different switches. Alright, we're almost there. We got one more of each item. So there's a keystone, a water bubble, and a coin. The coin we're going to get over here. And then we're going to get the keystone up here. And this one, you do have to grip a little bit to actually climb up this thing. But, otherwise, like, that happens there, where you're just not quite tall enough to do it. You're not long cat or anything. You're short snake. This is another instance where we're going to trigger the gate opening sequence. There's still one more water bubble that we're going to collect, and you'll see it when Doodle places the green keystone. It's up there. But it's a little faster to go ahead and activate that and then come over here and collect it so that you don't have to wait on the cutscene to open it up. Alright, and that's level 9. level 10, you'll be seeing a little bit of cooked snake because they put things just immediately over lava, and it's also the last level where we have to do a vertical climb on a pole. This one's it's a short one, but it's really annoying because it's over lava, and whenever you touch the lava or hot coals or whatever, your body bounces, and so you'll see he's sitting here, body's bouncing, and he's going crazy. He also opens his mouth, and by opening his mouth, that means his hitbox is a little extended or larger, so that when you're trying to go past those bamboo notches, he'll run into him when normally he wouldn't.
Whoa. Ah. Uh-huh.
This one we're only going to cook ourselves a little bit. We're just going to snag that, and then we'll fall in. If you've ever played GoldenEye, like on the 64, you'll remember that when you get hit in that game, like when you get shot, the outsides of the screen like turn red when you're getting hit, and your health bar goes down. When you're in the lava, there's a similar effect where this red haze type thing starts on the outside of the screen and kind of goes in, and so you can kind of tell how close you are to dying based on how red the screen is, or I guess how close it is to the center of the screen. Hopefully we won't be seeing that too much though. There's some rotating platforms here that I'm going to take a little slower than normal because there's a gap in between them, and sometimes you can just get caught on the corner of a stone and you just stay there and you can't move, and then you just kind of fall and die. And I haven't really found a reason why that is, but anyway. This one, we can just kind of go straight for it, and the little bamboo will push our body to the left enough to collect that. And this one, we're going to delay our movement forward a little bit so that our body hits that. This is a difficult leap. You have to get high enough so that you land on this bamboo right there. If you don't, then you can get caught underneath that, and you can't make it up before you would die. Alright, now we have a fun rotating block. Can I make that? I probably could have, but if I miss that, that's a lot of time lost, so I don't want to chance it. Yeah, so we have this to carry us up to the next area. And there's a checkpoint right there, so if I had taken a little bit of extra time to be safe there, it was probably a better idea than chancing it. I remember when I first played this level, when I found this coin down here, I think I screamed, "What?" Like, because how is that possible? It's like literally dangling over nothing. But there is this little area that you can go on into after you collect it.
Whoa.
We're gonna hit this checkpoint over here. And that rotating bamboo is actually a really good time for this one, unless I get stuck on this. Don't get stuck on that. Eh. There's some environmental things, like this little plant rock thing, that if you're not paying attention you can run into, and it'll just kind of kill you. Or kill your momentum at least, won't kill you most of the time. Alright, so that was level 10. Alright, level 11 has a pretty difficult beginning to it. There's a global timer that you're gonna have to hit quickly. So there's a coin down here that we need to collect. We'll just get it with our tail there, and if we're fast enough, then we can get over here when that's just arriving, so that we can get around it. So we can get up here, and then we have to collect this, and I didn't trust that. We're supposed to jump over there before that starts to move, but I didn't want to chance that. And then we gotta get underneath here, so our tail grabs that. Yeah, if you're fast enough, you can get all that in one cycle and not have to wait like I did. That's okay, only a few seconds lost. Can we make it? Can we make it? Can we make it? Can we make it? Yeah! That's not good. Save us. Okay. We almost died there. We did. We were okay. Yes. Sliding off of that block, your momentum like increases a bit because you're going like essentially like downhill. Just aim for this corner, and our tail's gonna get a water bubble down there. Now we have more rotating blocks. Yay. All we gotta do is snag that though, and we get a checkpoint. The camera there is kind of weird how it behaves. That's another case where you're in a the camera's in a enclosed space, and so it doesn't really know where to go because it can't go through anything. So sometimes it behaves nicely, and sometimes it doesn't. Okay. That part there is kind of dangerous, just because moving bamboo in general is kind of hard to predict exactly what's going to happen. It feels like you do the same thing every time, and you get different results. And it's just kind of how the physics work for this game. So we're going to try and make that. save this. I'm not supposed to be here. Let's see, what can we do? Maybe. Ah, okay. Made it. So ideally we're supposed to wrap around this thing. Alright, and we're good. Just like I planned it. This level went from one of my least favorites to one of my favorites because of a trick at the end. There's supposed to be a puzzle near the end of this level where you have 3 different switches. You got to hit them in the right order, which causes a boulder to roll down a bunch of bamboo, and then it lands in a switch that raises up a platform, which then you can use to climb up and grab the yellow keystone. But that's a lot of work. We don't want to do that. So still need to collect some things in here. Get Connor into there. But one thing that is cool is, remember, vertical walls just sometimes don't exist, so we're just gonna climb up here. That worked nicely. And from this vantage point, we can just jump over to this yellow stone. And we got one water bubble up here, and then one coin that's underneath the stairs. Right there. And we're done with this level. And then we get to go on to my least favorite level. But there's one part that I won't be doing because it's ruined several of my runs, and it doesn't save enough time yet for me to justify going for it at the cost of potentially dying. But since we're on a decent run here, we're not gonna attempt it. You alright? I don't think so. Camera doesn't get over there.
I'm terrible.
Hmm.
I'm terrible.
Alright, so we're going to snag this water bubble at the very beginning, so we don't have to double back and snag it at the end. Sometimes, like I was saying earlier, the camera can't go through things. That includes Doodle. So he can sometimes be flying right where the camera is, and as you're going forward, the camera just kind of pushes him back a little bit. I don't know what I'm stuck on. Oh, the part could have gone better. So sometimes you'll see him fluttering in the air, and then all of a sudden he just like gets pushed back, and it's all because the camera's trying to go through him, but he can't, and so he gets pushed back. So hitting that switch causes this thing to come down, and we need that to both get up here and to get a coin. If we jump back on the top here, there's a coin at the top of this whole area that we can snag. And to my knowledge, you can't get up there without utilizing that moving platform, so anyone ever finds a way to do that without hitting that switch, that'd be wonderful. That's faster, I should clarify that. Okay, we just gotta move that a little bit and get up here. This is the only checkpoint that we have for the rest of the level, which is the reason why the trick I was saying that I'm not going to do, the reason I'm not going to do it, because ooh, Lord. Just fell through there. Things that rotate kind of suck. Got that one, so now let's try and get up here. Okay. But yeah, there's a jump over a pretty large chasm that, if you get it, it saves about 20 seconds, maybe even 30. I haven't specifically timed it, but if you fail, then you go all the way back to that checkpoint that we got before that little rotating Ferris wheel thing, and you have to go collect everything all over again, and it's about a 3.5 minute loss. It's pretty terrible. So we're gonna skip that on this run until I can consistently find a way to make it work, because I practiced it and I had a good method, and then a couple nights ago I got to that point and still died twice using that method, so I gotta find one that's not gonna kill me ever.
Maybe the timing of when you lift your head. I don't know the mechanics of long jumps in this.
To the back way here. There's a water bubble over here that I'm convinced that one day I'm going to forget it, because, I don't know, it's like, that's the one that I just, if I were to picture the whole game and just figure out where every item is, that's the one I think I would just forget. And if I'm not paying attention, I can just go right past it and not realize it. Stairs suck. We hate them. You'll see in a little bit why. But there's some stairs right there that we're going to avoid by doing that. And this is the last time we have these particular switches. You can see they're a little finicky. They just don't want to go. There we go. This is what I call the climb. There's some bamboo over there that you can skip if you just go straight up this way and hopefully get up there. Doesn't look like it's happening, so let's abort. It saves like 4 seconds, maybe a little bit more, but the time that you save doing that, you can make up some of it by being higher to collect that water bubble and have a better angle to jump over here. Alright, here's stairs. Stairs suck, and here's why. We're gonna go up these, and then all of a sudden it's like we get kind of stuck, and you just kind of wiggle back and forth. Although this is the fastest I've ever gotten up here.
You're doing a good job of showing how bad
Wow.
these things are.
I don't know why that works so well. Like, I can't tell you how long those stairs take normally. It's like 20 seconds of just wiggling back and forth to hopefully get up them. Alright, so here's where the jump would be. You see the green beam to our left over there? That's the next keystone. You can jump from here all the way across to that light, and
In the direction.
yeah, in the direction of it. And see, you cross all that open space to my left. And by jumping from there, you don't have to go all the way over here. And you would end up... Snag this over here. And you would land right here. So all that time it took to traverse around there, you just cut out. But right now, I don't have a consistent way to do that, and it's killed way more runs than it's helped. So until I can figure out a better way for that one, I'm not going to do it. Remember there was a cutscene earlier with a switch that we could move through. This one you can't, but we're going to try and angle ourselves to where we're going to collect an item in the middle of the cutscene. So if we get our head on there, maybe? Maybe? Oh, almost. Your head can just kind of fall off there and collect that. And yeah. I mean, it saves like fractions of a second, but it's still kind of fun to get it. It's like a little, yeah, it's in a little like achievement. Like, yeah, I did it. So we only got one more water bubble. Right there. Alright. And with that being my least favorite level, it actually went really well.
Yeah.
Other than little hiccup on the
windmill.
On the windmill, yeah, or the Ferris wheel. Alright, so after this we have 3 more levels. We're doing great on time. Wow. Wow. Alright, so here is Cinder showing up. And he's going to give us a little reward for helping, a little token. That says Eternal Thanks, and whoa, that looks cool! It's the same as the others, except a different color and a different shape. Yeah, and then Noodle still packs it up under his wing. Oh, now we got 2 eyes. I almost forgot about that thing. You did it! Okay, so now this is Blowy. Blowy's realm. Got his name for a bit. And this introduces wind. The first level, there's not too much of it. It just kind of introduces you to the mechanic of it. But the levels 14 and 15 are like terrible, and they just decide to throw them everywhere. But with this wind, you can use Doodle to kind of pick you up and traverse across different little areas like that. So whenever you see this, like, maroonish platform, you can use Doodle to pick you up and take you over there. This part, just gonna wrap around enough to get over to here. As long as we get back onto there, we didn't lose any time. Wrap around once, and then we can just go for it. This is the last rotating switch in the game. There's a couple more switches where you just gotta grip them and yeah. Alright, hopefully we'll get back across here without difficulty. Okay. That little jump can be a bit finicky. And here's our first introduction into sideways wind. I will try not to get blown away. Blown away. Blown away. I haven't heard that song in a long time. Okay. We're just going to get enough out here where we can just kind of snag that on the way, and then there's a coin on this pillar. And okay. Looks like I got snagged on something, so I've angled myself differently. Alright, so this is the second time we come back to this area. We're going to come back one more time. Or, I guess we'll loop back through it one more time. But, we've got a coin over here. And that was from the switch that we hit earlier that opened in that little area. This one you can just kind of get if you go for it.
Whoa.
This part here always scares me because I feel like I should have died several times here and I just haven't. So of course I have to say that right then. Okay. Thankfully it's not far at all. But, yeah, I see it. Literally never died there, and then I died. It's fine. Camera. Alright, let's do this again. So we're gonna go a little higher this time and just kind of launch over. I was a little too low when I crossed it earlier.
People alive will do that anyway. Things happen.
Alright, so this is, Jeff, don't forget this water bubble too. This is the other item that I missed at one point during a run. That I was just like, I guess at the end I'm like, wait, what am I missing? And it's just that I had the camera rotated wrong and just decided to go straight for this instead. Okay, so we got that. Checkpoint. Here's our first, I guess, demonstration of the wind in this level. You'll see right here I'm gonna get like blown back across over here, and I missed that. But it makes climbing this not easy. If you hesitate for a little bit, then it messes up your timing for everything else. Okay, well, once we get that, we can go on. Here's some other wind. The idea is to teach you that you need to grip onto these vertical poles so you don't get blown off. But that's like puny baby wind. We'll get to like the big Hulk, hefty, strong wind later.
Whoa.
Okay, I'm gonna slip off there. Okay. There's the last piece then, so we just got a few more water bubbles and a coin to snag to end this level. That, circle around. And this one we just aim for the corner, right there, and our body will get that. Circle around. Admire these pretty flowers. Aren't they pretty? Okay. And then we're going to get carried across here, and that's level 13, so we got 2 more left. That should be everything. Now that death costs about 30 seconds or so, but we're still well ahead of pace.
You haven't had a issue that cost a minute yet.
Yeah.
2 or 3 levels that cost maybe half a minute.
Alright, so level 14 is set up to where there's a central, like, little pond thing, like a hub, and you're supposed to branch out and do some difficult stuff, and the keystone is at the very end of that. At the very beginning, you can get to the end of one of those hubs and do that part backwards, which is a lot faster. But here's a slightly sloped wall, so we can just kind of climb up it. It's a little finicky sometimes. Yeah, let's try that again. Alright. And that allows us to get up here, which means we can jump over here. And by getting on here, we can do this whole section backwards, which I alluded to on level 7, level 7, that it's faster to go through things where you're falling and getting stuff instead of climbing. And she'll definitely see it right here after I get a coin up here. I'm gonna wait on this cycle a little bit. There's a coin above me that I need to grip around here and get this way. But once we get this coin, we can just jump over here, so we get that as we're falling. Then there's another one over here that we can get, catch ourselves on there, go back around this way, get that, and so you see we don't have to wait on all these cycles, we can just kind of go fast at it. There's a crosswind here that kind of pushes you to the side. That's nothing compared to the wind we're about to traverse across, though. The next little area, you're supposed to come at this from the other side, obviously, and there's a switch that will raise up 4 different platforms, and the platforms are supposed to block the wind so that you can cross. So here's one part of the wind, and then there's another right here. But we can just kind of slide down and ignore that. Okay, so that's 1/3 of this level. And this is the central hub I was talking about with the little pond. That one? No. Yeah, that was it. Forgot where I was going for a bit. Sometimes camera angles just make it to where you look at the scenery and you're like, that doesn't look familiar. These little things, I could go across them faster, but they're a bit finicky because of their rotating. Moving things are always finicky in this game, and so I take this part with extra caution every time I get here. Once I get to this one, then we're good. We can just jump across. Snag that one with our tail. And there's a water bubble up here that you can get all the way up and then come back down. Camera where I can see and go now. And hopefully our tail is going to actually collect that water bubble down there. Should right there, yeah. There's a point where the wind blows it over. Ooh, that looks really far. It's okay, that looks far. Okay, and you can slither up here. Can be a little finicky. There we go. across here and get this with our tail as we go across. And then we'll hit the checkpoint. So this coin over here, the first time I ever got to it, took me almost 2 hours to get because it's not an easy one to get. And there's spikes here, there's moving bamboo, there's angled bamboo. It all around sucks. But I've gotten way better since the first time I played this game. So you can hit the spikes like from the side, or you can like hit them with your tail and it won't kill you. So that was a case there where I kind of nicked the side of him and he was like, "Oh!" I'm like, "Don't kill me." I was like, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to."
That bird.
Yeah, I would have killed the bird easily. Okay, this is a really bad cycle for this, unfortunately. If I had done things a little faster, I could have been here, but we gotta wait for the center one to go down, but we gotta wait for this one to go down and come back up first so we can get to it. We're gonna get on this as it's falling. Circle around here. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, we're done. That's okay. So we're gonna do that again. There we go. That's the idea, but there's a wind over here that's blowing us across, which can make that to where you try to grip around something and it just says no. Okay, this coin's fun. I'm pretty sure when I first saw that coin existing in this game, I just started laughing like a crazy person because I was like, are they serious? Like, how the hell are you going to get that? But it's actually not so bad.
Once you find out the wind's strong enough.
Yeah. Tiny stairs suck. Alright. I've never died on this one before, but I said that earlier and I died, so being a little careful. So get that checkpoint. Gotten way better at that. Okay, hitting this switch raises up some vertical holes down there, and you need them. This part is like blow you away. Yep. That didn't go far enough and slipped into those holes. You want to go far enough to where that happens, so that you can circle around and then do that. You can move during this cutscene, but I'm terrified that I'm going to just slither right off the edge or something, so I just play it safe and don't. Yeah, maybe Sunday when I'm shaving off like a few seconds and not several minutes. Okay. So that was level 14, we got one left. I'm gonna run the camera into Doodle a few more times. Doodle's like a magic bird. He's a hummingbird that doesn't eat. So he can just kind of fly forever.
He eats those kids from the dogs.
Oh yeah. And then... Alright. Here we get a better view of what our enemy is, or
foe.
Yeah,
Causer of conflict.
there you go. Causer of conflict is probably a good one. Wrecker of Haventor.
Yes, pretty specific imports there.
Alright, so here's last level. It's got a couple... The level's difficult, but it's got a couple specific parts that can go really badly or really well.
One of those order.
So, at the end of the last level, there was a switch we had to hit to make some vertical poles appear so we could cross some very windy terrain. And this is the exact same here. So there's a switch right here, and you'll see these poles raised up in front of me. You can traverse across this without the poles, but you can't get that water bubble easily with that. It's really dangerous to do that, so I take the extra time to get that. If it comes to it and I have to do that at some point in a run, then I will, but right now we're fine. We don't need to. We're coming up on the first, difficult part of this level, and it's because we've got rotating bamboo with wind, and it's just... why? It's not fun. We're already in a bad spot, so let's fix that. Okay. We're gonna jump across here. I'll just ride this around. That bubble is in a terrible spot. It's like they planned it to be difficult. How dare they? Okay, we're not out of it yet. We gotta get over here and make it to this checkpoint, so we're fine. We've got some fun wind here that's just trying to kill us. It's like, what are you doing here? Go away. You can manually let go of that in mid-flight by hitting the call doodle button. If you don't, he'll just take you all the way up here and you'll miss that coin. And we'll let our tail snag that one down there. What are walls? We don't care about walls. But there's a wind section here where you're supposed to time your approach to get across, and you can just skip all that by going up there. So it's a lot faster and really convenient. Here we got some wind coming from the right, and we can go out there and get that. And then we have to come back. If you do it the perfect distance, then you can go ahead and immediately transfer over here. But I had to do it twice, and that caused me to be too low. Alright, I'm gonna wrap around this one. Just go for it. So we got a tricky coin coming up over here. It involves a jump over wind to land on some bamboo.
Whoa.
And we're good. That, then we'll reverse back. Now, there's a coin up here that, just like in level 8, there's 8. There's you're supposed to do like a section, and this is the exit point, but you can get in here if you're pretty precise with it. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. There we go. It's a very small window, literally. But the way the buttons are oriented on the Switch version, I can hold my head up with A, and I can call Doodle with Y, and oh, that went so well. But to call Doodle, I have to move my thumb off of the A button. That's the bad cycle, but if we can just get to here, we're good. Okay. So what I did was I brought the controller up and hit Y with my the inside of my lip, so that I could hit both buttons at the same time. And you can get around this and get there before it moves back, but I'm really bad at it. I've gotten it once, and because it's moving, it's another one of those finicky things. I'm just not really sure how to make it work consistently. Alright, I'm gonna be careful on that. Okay, we've only got one more difficult part, but I've gotten a pretty consistent way to get it, so hopefully it won't be too bad. This little platforming section royally sucked for a long time until I found out that you could cheat it by going up here. And that involves using the grip button to kind of stall your momentum until you angle the correct way. And then we aim for this corner, which gets us that water bubble, and then we leap of faith. Way, yay. And then go up here. We'll try this. I rewatched my video and had a better idea going into that, what I should do.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. And now we have this column of air that's going to pull us up. We've got one more item to collect. That one right there. And then we have a cutscene and we're done. I might get 145.
You should.
Yeah.
It doesn't take a minute.
Alright. Really solid run overall.
Yeah, that was great. No major deaths, couple minor ones.
Yeah.
Just make sure to actually be prepared to, so they're in there.
Yeah. Don't just leave and celebrate and go take out the trash and start my load of laundry and come back and be
start
like,
cooking dinner and just like, oh, I'm at 2:30.
mm-hmm.
Wait, Snake and Bird, the gods didn't even bother learning their names.
Yeah.
What was supposed to be their greatest gift tonight.
Alright, so that was...
Doodle.
Mm-hmm. Alright, we go in here, and... time. Woo! Woo! Alright.
That was... Already practicing that jump now?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Well, I mean...
you got sub 145. I didn't know if you're going to try to shave another minute or so off first, or if you're going to...
I don't know.
Or how you're going to do it.
I can shave like another minute, because there were those 2 deaths.
Yeah, I know. That's why I didn't know if you're going to try to do that or not.
Alright, so now we get to the final cutscene here. Here we get our Wrecker of Haven Tour, looking for the Great Shiny, apparently, whatever that is. And then Doodle's like, ah! And then we see it's like a Zazu bird. and he's just saying, he was looking for the great shiny, don't hurt me. And it's like, what? But you ruined everything. Why? And he didn't know. He's just lost. You feel pity for him, and I don't know where his red eye went, but now he's got white eyes. Whatever. Never really thought about that before. Yeah, so he's lost. We've got these gates that we can travel between worlds. And he's traveled here and can't get back. But where'd all those come from? Those are the soda crackers from earlier. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh look, it's that sphere that's shining. The great shiny! And now that creates this little portal, and this bird is so happy. He's like, yay! I can go home! I'm so happy! And you can see Noodle in the background just like bobbing his head and with his mouth open. Alright, so now he is gone. You're attempting to leave. There we go. We're so happy, yay! And what's our prize for doing that? We get snake vision, which allows us to find all the missing coins and water bubbles that we missed. But we got them all. Sebastian Lisa? I don't know how to say his name.
Lisa.
Probably. So, he is the one who had the idea for this game. Apparently, he was messing around with the Unreal 4 engine, and he had like a rope, I think, and he was trying to rig it in some way, and he messed up the physics on it, which the way it fell reminded him of like a piece of noodle, and he was like, well, that shouldn't have done that. And then he kind of got the idea for, what if I made a game with these physics, like what I've programmed, and make it about a snake. Originally, he wanted it to be like the original Snake, where you collect items and your body grows, but he couldn't figure out a good way to design levels where if you decide to pass up early items, then you could still get later ones, but then if you did get the early items, then you were so large that it made it trivial. So he decided to keep you at one length, but that was kind of the idea. And apparently Stephen Nichols has had the idea for Doodle. I don't know, or the voice. I don't know. But yeah, that was Snake Pass, and we get a little bonus cutscene here. Where we're being all happy, and we've restored everything, and then he's like, help! Or she. I guess I don't even know what gender that other bird is. So that leaves it open for a little sequel, I guess. Yeah, if we go back through here, we'll see all the items that we collected are lit up, telling you got everything in each level. Yep, there we go. Hey. So I'm going to cut this off. I'll edit this and put it up. But yay, new record by like almost 5 minutes. So, woo! Thanks to anyone who watches. This is the only game that I'm streaming right now. Maybe I'll do others later. But if anyone wants to get into running this game, it's a lot of fun. It's challenging. As I said earlier in the run, there is no randomness to this run. It's all pure execution and global timers. So if you have a route that's going to work for one level, it's always going to work for that level. And there's also a time trials thing. So if we select this, there's a time trial mode, and you can kind of see leaderboards and stuff for each level. I don't have a very good level 1, but in time trial you just collect the keystones and then finish the level. But there's a current runner named Cactus I call him Caforctus because his name is C4CTUS. But he's been putting in a lot of work into the any percents. You should definitely check him out. I'll try and link him below. And I'll link you to the leaderboards as well for this game. But anyway, thank you everyone for watching.